when time shrivels. When days lay ahead like gold medals. When the rhythm of your lover's pumping shoes slowly abates. When does your respirator turn down? 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 Doppler, that's it. Your respirator, when does it turn down? Your respirator, when was it turned on?
They're in.
Hey everybody, welcome to week 12 of the Way of the Fantasy League. Looks like we have a new guest. A possibly boozing up white nationalist. What's going on over there?
Hey guys.
Oh no.
Hey guys, it's your drunk Uncle Freddy.
He's a soccerholic.
Freddie, are you a Detroit Lions fan? Is that what's going on here?
It's been a rough year. 2020. Man.
2020, right?
Thank you for Zoom Thanksgiving. That was nice. Zoom Thanksgiving was good. And you said I could join the show just see what was going on, and so should I start Kurt Warner this week?
Yeah, I would start every single Broncos quarterback. I think they're gonna all have great games.
Okay.
I would start Kurt Warner with Marshall Faulk.
Fuck! I'm a Kurt Warner to bag groceries, and Marshall Faulk will carry them to your car.
Torrey Holt's gonna make some catches.
What about Lasagna Samuelson? Is it Thomason? He good?
He was good. I think he has no more kneecaps.
Oh, okay. I don't play him. Well,
Ryan, I like drunk Uncle Freddie here.
I do. He kind of is changing nationalities as he speaks.
Yeah.
Is a rough year. I love
He's a very rough year.
We went from Hispanic to Italian. Where are we going next?
Well, so one more. So, I don't think he plays the NFL anymore, but Des Bryant. Do I play Des Bryant?
Des Bryant we will discuss him. That is actually a relevant question. Des Bryant got 5 targets last week in his first game back. Can you?
Wow, drunk Uncle Freddie. Oh, wow. There, Darren the Sitzer.
Sorry, I didn't. I wasn't expecting. I told him to sleep it off, but he jumped in. He pushed me out of the way. Sorry about that.
Where exactly is your uncle from?
He's your uncle. He told me that he spent Thanksgiving with you guys. Zoom Thanksgiving.
I thought you were gonna make a little red hat for him.
Yeah. Not enough time.
Oh, if only it was that great.
Yeah. Hey everyone, Darren.
Hey, I hope drunk Uncle Freddie comes back. I was hoping that he was a Detroit Lions fan who was still partying after the firing of his general manager and coach.
Oh, here. Keep it up, drunk Uncle Freddie.
Detroit has just been, and I think the bar sales tabs have gone up. I think there's been a lot of DUIs. I think Detroit's having a great time.
What do you think? We've earned it. We've earned this celebration.
Brother Dan, you're the Lions expert. Is there gonna be a whole new team now that they have a new coach?
Yeah, I believe so. I think the Stafford experiment after 12 years is proven to not be a winning experiment. We've spent way too much money on this guy. The quarterbacks have just changed. I mean, it was so obvious watching Houston and watching just what a real quarterback in the NFL now can do, and Stafford's just not it. So yeah, I think so.
When you're able to move outside the pocket, you change all the angles. Defense have to adjust. It's just that gets.
Well, what sucks is we're probably going to win like 2 more games before the end of the season. We'll get like the number 9 pick, someone who isn't going to be a huge game changer. So and the Jets are going to suddenly be super awesome next year.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, yes, let's introduce the show. This is the Way of the Fantasy League, and we are fantasy nerds who love fantasy football, and we're here to give you advice on your team. We'll talk it out. We will answer all of your questions. Below me is Darren, the fantasy soothsayer, and his drunk uncle, Freddie. To my left is brother Dan, the penultimate brother, the pen named, the so named, the so beloved. I'm not vamping well. Brother Dan to my left, and to my bottom left is Malkier Tries. You have a brand new background, I see. Is that it? This is no, so that is not a green screen, my friend. He really does have huge vegetables and pieces of meat behind him. It's kind of gross.
I'm laying on my kitchen counter much the way Dan does. Well, he doesn't lay on the counter, but the way that Dan lays down when he plays guitar.
Yes. So yeah.
I'm now filming on my kitchen counter.
Well said. Good
callback. Malkier's got his camera up on his ceiling. He's kind of lounging. He's working on his core strength, keeping his body upright, and he does have huge slabs of meat. He wants to point out that he has meat that is as big as your head. And Malkier does cooking videos on YouTube. Wait, we got to stop everything. We're contractually obligated. We have to pick 2 PPR. We have Eckler, Hines, Wilkins, Hill, and Gallman. Worried about Eckler's usage. Darren, first thoughts, as I think longer than you.
Pick 2 PPR. Yeah, I mean Eckler, he's back. He's back. He's been tweeting for weeks, tempting all of his fantasy owners that he's coming back. He's coming back. Well, this is the week. He's actually coming back. So, I think it is right to be worried, but I mean PPR. If you'll remember, Eckler, he's always kind of been this very, very productive back.
PPR, in PPR specifically.
Yeah, he's been the receiving back with with people like, Gordon, in front of him. And now he's kind of the lead back. So, picking two, I might actually play him. Hines, God, he's up and down. Is he supposed to, be back? I don't know if I trust it. Wilkins, Hill.
I mean, Hill is a clear, really good start. I mean, but it's like
I'm sorry, which Hill is this?
That's Brian Hill. He's replacing. Okay. Yeah, he's replacing Todd Gurley, and that's a great matchup. Yeah. I think Hill is kind of like a really high ceiling play.
Yeah.
Low floor. I mean, I think Hill might actually bust for even 2 this week. Our Twitter poll asked that if there's going to be more than 1 touchdown, and we had 50 votes, and 80% went to Hill saying he's going to get 2 touchdowns this week. So I'm actually leaning towards Eckler and Hill. I
think the safer picks are probably Hill and Gallman. I mean, Gallman, he's been on a tear. Not so much PPR, but I just think he's going to get the floor points that you might need. Yeah,
well,
but if you're looking for risk reward, Eckler could be your guy if you're looking risk reward.
Or Hines. Hines is only one of 9 players with 3 or more games with multiple TDs. So when he scores, he tends to score more than once. But they're going against the Titans, so it's and I think they're going to be from behind, so he may not get as much production as he normally would. If they weren't going against the Titans, I would say Hines. So.
Good points. All right, so we got a hodgepodge of answers. I hope that was helpful, TS.
Yeah. Look, if you've been holding Eckler the entire season, God,
you're going to play him.
I know he's not as safe of a move, but how can you not play him?
I mean, look at those. He is doing power squats on Instagram. He's showing his butt out. He's shoving that butt out. He's got great form. He's got that great triangular looking back. I think he's ready to come back.
Oh my. And we got TS with us. Thanks, TS, man. You got any more questions? Throw them at us.
Yep. Awesome. All right. So what are we going to do today? We're going to go through each game. We have 14 games on the docket. As we go through them, we'll discuss the fantasy implications of them. We'll check our fantasy lineups if we so desire, because we are all in a league together, battling it out, except for my friend Darren here. He is in anyways, it gets complicated. And we have a Twitter poll, and let's get to that real fast so we can start thinking about these questions. So the Twitter poll for this week is as follows. Over under, Brian Hill, just as he said. Are we going to have 1+ rushing touchdown? Number 2, over under, Kyler Murray with 67.5 rushing yards. Number 3, Travis Kelce get 20.5 fantasy points? Is he going to break that? And that's a 0.5 PPR. Over under, 2+ interceptions for Miami's defense against New York Jets. And true or false, will Antonio Brown lead the Bucs in targets again this week, which is what he did last week?
Those are good questions. Good job, guys. Good
job. We pool our minds together and we come up with those, and it is a furious courtroom drama. There's a lot of yelling. There's a lot of accusations of malfeasance, but we get through it. It's like
a lot of banging of gavel saying, order!
Yeah.
Speaking of order, our man, Moxes, what up?
Hey, guys.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm a little late.
He's appropriate.
Better late than never.
Howdy.
Actually, let's have Mox. Let's bring Mox over here. Okay, because he is in the fantasy league. I am number 1, and this, my friend, is number 2. And this week I've been getting completely torn apart. It's claiming that my wins are fluff, that I have no points against, and it is just a hailstorm of bullshit coming out my way, and I just sit there calmly. I yawn it off. I think
the term popcorn muscles has come up once or twice.
Popcorn muscle. Look at these. No way. All my wins are legit. Everyone knows they're playing against me, and they start freaking out, and they start making wild moves and trying to because they know they need to score a lot of points, and I can't help it if I'm intimidating people into making bad choices. It's not my fault. It's all fantasy. All right, are we ready to get into the games?
Indeed.
All right, and don't forget, and I have it also, the Mustache Hall of Fame returns this week. But our first game of the week is Chargers at Bills, and the over-under is 53 points. The Bills average 27.2 points per game, and LA gives up 27.3 points per game. Look at that. Is that going to hold steady? The Chargers just in the NFL this year, it's not going to be like a 10-10 game. Watch. All right, the Chargers equal just one wide receiver to hit 80 yards over the last 5 games, so they've just allowed one wide receiver to hit 80 yards against them. The Buffalo has given up 100 yards rushing or a touchdown to running backs over the last 6 games. Hair Bear is 5th in fantasy points per game with 25 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, and this guy is a rookie. This is unbelievable. It's fun to watch. Josh Allen is 6th in NFL in points per game with 26 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. So those are very similar. Josh Allen's got a rushing touchdown in there, or a couple of them. And Balaj, he equals 70% of the snaps over the last 2 games. As Darren had predicted, I was coming in last week saying there's a 3-headed monster, and Darren said, no, it is Balaj, and he is correct. The last 2 games, it's been the Balaj show. Guys, what's behind those numbers?
Bellagio.
Yeah.
Bellagio.
First things first, I don't think Balaj is playing this week, so I think it's the Eckler show. And I know that the question that just came in was, should I trust Eckler in his first game back? I think, if he's back, he should be, fully healthy, mostly healthy, and he's going to be the lead guy, unless you want to take a real streaming approach for Pope, who's probably the backup there this week. I think it's going to be the Eckler show. Balaj, even if Balaj was playing, he's now going to be in the background, I think. So there's that. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. So, get your receivers out, because I think both quarterbacks are probably going to go off this week. You saw how well Herbert, our favorite French quarterback, Hair Bear, has been doing.
Hair Bear.
Going to need to keep up.
I think this may be the story of if Herbert is able to, how much pressure he's going to get. The Bills right now sacked the quarterback 27 times this season, which is the second highest. And the Chargers have not lost to the Bills since 2008. I think that this is going to change now. I think the Bills are going to win. I think Herbert's going to get a lot of pressure against him. And I think he's not going to be as comfortable as he has been the last couple of weeks, throwing 3 touchdowns, just kind of sitting there. I wouldn't be surprised if he's on his back a few times.
Oh, how many?
3.
Oh.
3 backs.
We do like this is a fantasy league. All right. So Balaj is expected to be out, is what we're getting. So he is a true game time decision. I think Darren, the fantasy soothsayer, might be accurate. Balaj might be out. We will keep updating you about Balaj as the day goes on. Dean, you got any skin in the game? Chargers at Bills.
I think the Bills' defense narrowly gives them the win. I think, like you guys said, it's going to be a shootout, but I like the Bills' front four a lot better than I like the Chargers' defensive line.
Good. And what do you think? Would you be playing both Bills wide receivers?
So interesting. This morning, I found out that Adam Thielen will not be playing because he's on the COVID list, and I plugged in Cole Beasley. So I will be playing a Bills wide receiver today.
Okay. Yeah. There's so much going on. Do we have that Adam Thielen? Yes. Adam Thielen is not expected. We'll check on that. Malkier, can you look up Adam Thielen? Thielen.
I think he may be listed as out.
All right. We will get the official.
I like the Beasley play, though. Because John Brown, the number 2 wide receiver for the Bills, is also out. And when John Brown's out, it usually means Cole Beasley is kind of the go-to second receiver, and usually does pretty well, has a pretty high floor.
Yep.
High floor. Now, if you had no idea what we were talking about, these terms would be so weird.
Yeah. Hey, I got a high floor.
What is a high floor? Whoa.
That's why I lay down and play guitar, man.
Like, I always thought I just had a low ceiling, but maybe it's just a really high floor. I need to talk to someone about this.
Was there any news on Thielen, Rob?
He is not expected to play. He is still listed as COVID. So.
Okay, so he is out. We changed that in the banner.
Okay.
Jake D says, "Good morning, beautiful degenerates." All right.
Hello,
Yes,
Jake.
we are the 5 Ellens. Thank you, the 5
Yeah.
Ellen degenerates. Yeah. Hey, everybody! Is it time for me to dance again? Oh my God, we're dancing! I can manufacture fun. And then, and when the camera's off, you get over here. You looking at me? Are you looking at me? I said get over here, but don't look at me. Walk backwards towards me. Yes,
you understand going on a date with me will enhance your job prospects, right?
All right, and then you reach on the desk, press the button, door's locked. Party time. All right, so
Gladys, hold my calls.
all right, so yes, we all believe to summarize, Chargers and Bills play the wide receivers, play both quarterbacks. And would you be interested in either one of those defenses? I'm personally not going to be playing either one. All right. Now we have Andrew, the Bard of Time, is saying, "Dance for me, puppy." Yes, that's what we're here for. We are whores without the W. All right. Let me go. All right, so we have. Let's go in. Let's all give us a like and subscribe.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Look at us go. We'll get to fantasy. We'll get there. All right, game number two. The Cardinals at the Patriots. We have James White. He is equaling 57% of the snaps last week. And we have Chase and Kenyon, the 2 running backs for the Cardinals. They are in an equal 50-50 split in snaps. New England's giving up 132 yards rushing at home this year. New England allows the 4th fewest points to tight ends, and Arizona equals the 6th fewest points to tight ends. So, do not play tight ends in this game, although I could have a hard time naming some tight ends in this game. New England, Cam Newton leads the team in red zone rushing attempts. Like I said last couple weeks ago, if they get the ball within the 10-yard line, they're not handing it off. It's the Newton show. It's pretty effective, but it is pretty narcissistic. And Arizona, they're giving up at least 1 touchdown, 1+ touchdown to wide receivers in the 4. I'm going to read that better. Arizona's giving at least 2 touchdowns to wide receivers in 4 straight games. All right. What's behind those numbers as I get back in the camera?
I don't have it in front of me, but I think Cam Newton has like 9 rushing touchdowns or something like that. It's insane. It's probably half his production because he's not passing very well.
It is. Oh, yeah.
Incredible.
And I remember that being part of his game, but he also had an insanely well-rounded game, and he was, that's why he was the fantasy gold mine. I mean, he was just running, at least 50 yards, and he would smile, like he's going in for a touchdown. You see him with the ball, and he's just like, he's so happy. Like he literally has these smiles on his face as he's plowing into these giant men. But yeah, go on, Dad.
Well, Sony Michel is back, so the Patriots are certainly going to be running a lot, whether it's Cam or Michel. But I think one of the more interesting matchups is going to be Stephon Gilmore versus DeAndre Hopkins. Stephon Gilmore is going to be, every man is going to be him. He was the Defensive Player of the Year last year. DeAndre Hopkins is the pretty much the top receiver for this year. But in 6 games that Hopkins has played against the Pats, he has never scored a touchdown. So I think that's going to be pretty fun to watch. Gilmore's a beast. Hopkins is a beast. It's going to be beast on beast action. It's going to be pretty fun to watch. The only other thing I have is Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray, he is the first quarterback to score a rushing touchdown in 5 straight games. He's also the 12th leading rusher right now in the NFL. So they're going to have their hands full trying to contain Kyler Murray on his feet as much as throwing to Hopkins and whatnot. It should be a pretty fun game to watch.
Those are great stats, Dan. I was wondering what the Stephon Gilmore effect's going to be. And yeah, you provided the answer. I mean, obviously we can't predict the future, but if history is any indicator, yeah.
Well, they asked him, "Who are you going to be guarding?" And he said, "I think everyone knows," and didn't state it specifically, but everyone kind of knows it's going to be that beast on beast love fest there.
All right, so Sarah Curly-Whirly is saying she's so hyped for the games this week, and yes, for the next few games. I agree.
Yeah, good seeing you, Sarah.
Sarah, your Saints are truly in great form. I asked you on Twitter if you think this is going to be the Taysom Hill show, or do you think he could guide the Saints to the future? Let me know what your thoughts are on that. We're going to get to the Saints later. And we have Andrew saying, snaps, is that like the snap cup from Legally Blonde? No, but that is a great joke. Yes, guys.
I've never seen that movie.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I mean, if you know what Andrew looks like, I think he saw the title and just is like, oh my God, is this a documentary? All right.
It's about me.
All right, so Malkier, what is the stat? You had an update. You wanted to tell Darren something about the 9 touchdowns, correct?
Oh, yeah, the 9 touchdowns for Cam Newton. That is spot on. He has 9 this year. He normally although last year he got none, he normally gets like 5 or 6 every year. The last time he got this many was 2015 when he got 10.
Crazy. And all right. Oh, that's good. Good. Do you think? Oh, I mean, so what do you guys think? He's going to break that, right? This year? He has to. He's on pace for that. Easy. All right. That's fun.
Yeah.
Fun.
He'll probably do it this game.
Fun stuff.
Great stats, Rob.
Yeah, I will say I liked the call out that you had on the screen of James White. With Burkhead out for the season, he kind of takes on that role, and he's been kind of non-existent for the season. But I think that's just the way that the Patriots are constructed this year. But with Burkhead out, I mean, if you look at all the the last few years, White has that distinct role, and he usually gets double-digit fantasy points. So I don't know if people are hurting for a running back, you're looking for a replacement. Do you want to trust him this week? I don't know, but I don't. For me,
well, certainly PPR.
And, I'm not trusting. Well, one, he has COVID, and two, who knows if the Steelers Ravens game is even going to be played at all. I put James White in as my Connor replacement, unfortunately, but I think he could have a decent game.
I think he could too. Also, yeah. I mean, he led the team in targets last week.
Specifically for PPR, obviously.
So that's what I'm going to say.
PPR.
Huge upgrade in PPR. So everyone at home, if you don't know, PPR means points per reception. Sometimes you just want those, and you put it in as a setting. All right, so
it's a personal protective respirator.
So let's just go back and a little reminder of some of the Mustache Hall of Fame entries of lore. We're just going to go through real fast. I'm going to give you
that guy?
This guy, his name is Ben Davidson. He played 1960, 61 to 71. He now owns 3 used car dealerships and has 3 children from 3 different wives. All right, so Aaron Rodgers, he is currently, just look at him.
Need a bigger buckle there on that belt.
Oh, man. I imagine with each step, that buckle just turns and that just goes like back and forth. All right, and then we have, this is our friend. I forgot this guy's name. I didn't write it down. He is, he just looks like your local sheriff.
The guy uses a Floby.
This is the diversity, the diversity mustache, because we're going to include all mustaches. You don't have to be.
All stashes matter.
Yeah, all stashes matter. And then we have, again, Antonio Brown. What has he been up to? He's in interrogation still. Yeah, no,
this quarantine? This quarantine room.
No, he's being interrogated by the police. And then so I will present the current mustache awardee later. Are we done with the Cardinals at Patriots? Does anybody have anything relevant to say?
Nope. I think brother hit it on the head, talking about Gilmore is probably going to shut down DeAndre Hopkins. He's been really good against big, tall receivers, and he shut down DK Metcalf. So I would expect to see him from him. Dude's a monster.
So Christian Kirk, right? Is he the second wide receiver up? Are we? Do we believe that he's going to have a great game? That would be my call.
Probably.
Yeah, I think my only concern is Kyler Murray is a little banged up. He got injured last week. His production after he got injured was kind of fell off. You're still starting him, obviously. I just wonder fringes in terms of wide receiver 2 or 3 on the Cardinals. Does that impact them? Even with a tough matchup with Gilmore, you're still playing Hopkins. I mean, you're not benching the guy. But does it impact Kirk if Murray is a little banged up? I don't know. That's my question.
These are all good questions, and none of these stats I have up here are relevant to wide receivers. How is New England against the wide receiver in total? They're pretty good, aren't they? They're having a good year. Anyway, so we have, and then the other wide receiver would be, I'm trying to remember the old timer's name. It's Kurt. What's that? And Fitzy. Yeah. So
He's out. Larry Fitzgerald's out.
Larry's out. So it's Kirk, and then who's after Kirk? Who else is with him? That's good questions. Darren? Who's after? Who's the wide receiver 3 or 2 now?
It's that woman kicker from Vanderbilt. I think she's been drafted to play wide receiver for the Cardinals.
Beautiful. I think they need to have a whole COVID league at this point. We just need to have a whole like all the players from all the teams with COVID just to go play like a scrimmage somewhere. I would watch that game.
That's probably that would be a great one. Some good talent.
Just people like passing out. All right.
Hyperventilating on the side of the pitch.
No, it is the official stance of the way of the fantasy league that we hope that all players survive and no one is seriously injured. There is, again, I want to remind you, they don't like to talk about it. There is a player on a team who has been hospitalized twice and has now been basically shut down for the entire year due to COVID complications. And so these guys are obviously supremely healthy people. You never know who it's going to affect.
The guy got it twice.
What's that?
The guy got it twice.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, and so and like he's having like serious complications where he literally cannot play the sport that's earning him his career. And again, you just think, you're healthy, and there's just kind of a roll of the dice effect with COVID. So we don't joke about it. We hope everyone's fine. I mean, we do joke about it. We're going to joke as much as we want, but deep down, we really hope everyone is fine, and we hope everyone at home is fine, and we hope that we are providing entertainment that helps you get through this weird, crazy 2020 COVID year. Malkier, good thumbs up. Mox, I want to point out that it is now canon for us that Malkier his camera is up on the ceiling, and these are actual slabs of meat and vegetables behind him, and he's lying on his back. So
Rod is actually about 18 inches tall, and he's delicious with zucchini and onions and mushrooms.
Did you plate that yourself for the picture, Malk, or did you find that on the internet? I gotta know. I gotta know.
It was made for me.
Awesome, made for you. Ooh.
Ooh la la.
Oh, all right. So, game number 3 on the docket. We have the Dolphins at the Jets with an over/under of 44.5 points. No one expects much from this action. The Dolphins are 5th in quarterback pressures, and the Jets are 27th in allowing their quarterback to be pressured. Not a good formula for Sam Darnold, who returns with 4 total touchdowns and 6 interceptions on the year. A big oof for Sam Darnold. I think that's the sound he's going to be making as he gets hit. Oof. Miami got beat for 166 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns last week, which is pretty incredible because Miami's defense is pretty good, but they're more dominant against the pass. P. Ryan was put on the injury reserve list. Will Ty Johnson start to emerge this week? And Miami has given up 100 yards or touchdowns to wide receivers the last 4 weeks. Again, kind of a surprising stat. For defenses, that's good. There are still points of weakness. You can still score on them. What's behind these numbers, guys? Darren.
I gotta admit, I mean, I know you're highlighting the stat that whatever it was. How many weeks have Miami's D given up over 100 yards or a touchdown for passing.
That's 4, I think it was.
Yeah. I think what that means is, especially with Darnold back, he is locked in on Crowder. Like, Joe Flacco was kind of spreading it out a little bit, which means no one was fantasy relevant, and Crowder was certainly not relevant because he was, I think he got like, I don't know, 14 or 24 yards last week or something like that. But Darnold just seems to have him as his favorite. So if you have Crowder, I think he's probably a higher play this week, and he's probably the only Jet that you're looking at. I don't know, unless you really, really need a solid seven fantasy point floor for Frank Gore as your running back. Unless you need those guaranteed 7 points, Crowder's probably the only guy that you're looking at for the Jets.
What do you think about like Rashad Perriman?
I just think with Darnold back, I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
What I have when Flacco was in, he only got 20 targets, but he got fantasy wise, he got 2.5 fantasy points per target, which was higher than DJ Metcalf, and connecting with Wilson. Yeah, it was the highest in the league as far as fantasy points per target. But Darnold is back, and Crowder is his guy. But Miami shut out the Jets last time they played. The Jets have only averaged 15 points a game, which is the lowest in the NFL. And in the last 2 weeks, they've gotten 21. They've gotten at least 3 touchdowns, but they still only average 15 points a game. Miami did, like I said, shut them out. They have a streak now, the longest in the league. That's 16 games in a row, forcing a turnover. So yeah, I think Darnold's. I think that streak's is gonna continue. I think we're gonna see 17, baby.
That's awesome. Those are great. I love that. So fantasy points per reception. That's amazing.
Per target.
That is cool.
Thank you.
So yeah, obviously we're all playing Jamison Crowder. If you had him, anybody else on, I guess, the Jets are you considering? I mean, yeah, like if you need a nice 7 points, I liked how you put that. We could be playing.
Fitzmagic is back. Come on,
I know.
The Jets. This is going to be crazy. I think equally so. He seems to lock on to Parker, who's kind of been average over the last few games. I think Parker could have a bigger game as well because Fitzmagic looks like he looks his way and probably helps out a lot of the receivers. I mean, come on, it's the Jets.
I wonder who. All right, so Malkier, where is Ryan Fitzpatrick ranked in the consensus rankings on Fantasy Pros, please? Very interested to find that out.
If we're doing beard ranking, I would say he's like number 1 or 2 ever.
All right, and we will keep you updated on injuries as you go, so you don't need to turn away and watch the corporate media. You can just stick with us. We'll keep you updated. And F those mother effers.
I always wonder, does like Ryan Fitzpatrick have the same size chin strap as everyone else? Or is it like more voluminous because of all that fur?
He might need less padding on his chin strap. That's a good point.
It's very possible. Fitzy is ranked 18th. In the,
middle of the road.
Yeah.
We got to turn to Dean for the beard questions. Come on, we got a beard expert right here.
We do. How is it like wearing a chin strap, Dean? Actually, go forward and you can have the helmet right on your head. There we go. Yeah. Baby.
I couldn't tell you. I have not worn a chin strap since before the full beard came in. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but he still wears a jock strap every day.
Every day.
Every day. For reasons no one knows. No one knows why, but
gotta keep the
2 on Sundays.
Never know. You never know. You might just be walking down the street, little kid punches you in the nuts. It's gonna be protected.
I mean, we know that Mox lives in it. Mox lives in the land of the purge where he needs to look out for his safety at any point. It might be accurate that children might run up and nut punch as a strategy. Like the Hatfields and the McCoys, like the Hatfields have a whole bunch of children who just nut punch in the
kids get in the bunker. The air doesn't smell right.
All right. So yes, Cliff Flex says Jay Leno wears sexual. Sorry.
That's a good point.
This is true. Yes. No. But we with Ryan Fitzpatrick's beard is probably the exact like symmetrical like symmetry of Jay Leno's real chin. So I think we could just swap them out, and they could wear the same helmet.
It's a true story. Yeah.
True story.
Let's put on a chin strap. True story.
He actually steers his luxury cars with his chin.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Malk, for demonstrating. All right.
Yeah.
Ravage my fantasy football team.
All right, let's get back to it. A reminder that we're going to be taking a mid-show break and playing some music, and we are progressing through the games at a nice pace. We have a Twitter poll. If you go to @WayLeague, you can find the Twitter poll. It is active. We'd love for you to participate. One question has like over 50 answers. Other questions have under 10. I still don't know how this works. It's all in the same thread. I think
you need to number the polls. I think poll 1 and 5, poll 2 and 5. You know.
Yes.
Anything I can think of.
That is a good strategy, and I will try to hack Loogies into the mic again. All right.
Maybe
That
we
is
should do a raffle. If you complete all 5 questions, you get entered into the raffle.
Ooh.
You get
Yeah,
to. We'll raffle off a mustache comb.
Wow. Mustache comb.
There is okay. So as I'm looking at the banner, Malkier, can you look up Julio Jones, please? Look up Julio Jones. Jones. Let me see if there's any, and also just kind of general, like any, actives and inactives.
I have him
updates.
out on my paper.
He is officially inactive for week 12.
All right, I will update that in the banner. All right, so give us your questions as we move forward. Let's go to game number 4. I did it again.
Oops.
Get out of there. Get out of there. Oops. Oh,
I'm
playing Brittany.
keep going.
Got lost in the
Keep going.
game. Oh, baby.
All right, now stop. Over under is 44.5 points. The Giants at Bengals. Over under 44.5 points. Welcome back, Brandon Allen, the Bengals quarterback. Last year, he played 3 games. It was not good. The New York defense has 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions. They've allowed only 1 touchdown and 3 interceptions the last 2 games. That's not how I say it. They've allowed 1 touchdown. And they've taken 3 interceptions away from the other. Nope, that's not how you say it. Anyways, I'll move on. Cincinnati's defense has given up multiple touchdowns to quarterbacks 7 out of the last 10 games. So, yes. And New York's defense has struggled against catching running backs. Giovanni Bernard is questionable, so let's find out. Look up Giovanni Bernard, please.
He is active. He is active for the game. That's what it says. Despite having a concussion during practices. Still says he's active.
Man, they practice hard over there. All right, so yeah, they've Giovanni Bernard is now active, and let's say Wayne Gallman gets 53% of the snaps with Devontae Freeman out. All right, Giants at Bengals. Have at it, Darren. What are your thoughts?
Gallman's a good play. I've been impressed with how he's really stepped up, and Cincinnati's defense doesn't really stop running backs very well. So I see the Giants probably winning this game. I mean, gosh, with Burrow out, I don't know how you can trust any of the wide receivers for Cincinnati. They've been volume based. The offensive line has not been good in protecting the quarterback, but just Burrow's been awesome. He was throwing 50, 60 passes. So you were still getting production out of the passing game for Cincinnati, but with him out, I don't think you can trust any of them. I mean, Bernard, yeah, maybe, but he's not been that great. So I think you're praying if you're playing any of the Bengals this week. But Giants again, Gallman, Ingram, he's had volume the entire year, and he's actually doing that thing that you're supposed to do. I think it's called catching the ball. So he's probably a good play as well.
Yeah.
So we do have a live this unknown factor of this guy, the backup quarterback, Allen. I think he's going to greatly affect most skill players on the Bengals. I would be not playing anybody on the Bengals at this point.
Well, here's an interesting thing about him as well. He's 1-2 in his starts. He did not do well, but the Giants linebacker coach was actually his head coach in Arkansas. So if anyone knows who Brandon Allen is, it's the linebacker coach. I think he's going to be looking at clouds and birds dancing around his head quite a bit. I think he's going to get steamrolled.
Wow, that's a crazy. Okay, yes. So to that point, Brother Dan, that's awesome. Yeah, I didn't know that. Awesome.
Also, Cincinnati may have up to 12,000 fans there. Ohio has lifted restrictions. And the Giants are 0-6 in Cincinnati. They have not won in Cincinnati ever. And as of last week, Daniel Jones and Joe Burrow were each topping the list for number of hits, 72 hits by a quarterback. Joe Burrow eventually, his year is done. We cannot have Daniel Jones continue to be getting hit like this and think that he's going to finish the season or be productive. So this is going to be another interesting game. I think Brandon Allen is going to be a disappointment. I think the Giants are going to eat him up.
Does he survive the game?
That's a good question. That's a good question.
Oh, that just means that Ryan Finley would go in, which will also take the Bengals.
You guys. So is this
there? God dang it.
So is this the game where the Giants finally go into Cincinnati and win? Is this it? I think
the Giants
so.
get the W.
Yep.
I think so too. History in the making. That's awesome.
Over under. Is there going to be a rushing back who gets 100 yards on either team?
Gallman can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I can see Gallman. Yeah, I can see a lot of running from Gallman today for sure.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that Cincinnati has any. Yeah, I think Gallman for sure couldn't break that. No one on the Bengals will though. All right.
Defense, watch out for the defense.
You never know.
She had the
All
ball. Go ahead.
Okay, and reminder, in 10 minutes, we're going to take a 10-minute break and come back and continue on. But we are going to do one more matchup before we take a break. Get your lineup questions ready. We are contractually obligated to stop the show instantly and answer your questions.
Yes.
All right. Matchup number 5, Titans at the Colts. The over-under is 51.5 points. We have Rivers has 3 touchdowns in 3 of the last 5 games. Tennessee has allowed the 6th most fantasy points to quarterbacks. The Colts have limited Tannehill to just 147 yards and 1 touchdown in Week 10. Will this happen again? Tennessee have given up either a touchdown or 100 rushing yards to a running back in 3 straight games. The question is who is it going to be on the Colts? And let's look at that because Jonathan Taylor has been getting 45%, Hines 35%, Wilkins 20% on the year. But last week alone, Taylor had 26 touches. So as the fancy soothsayer pointed out again to correct me live, it is the Jonathan Taylor show. The trends are going towards Taylor. So will Taylor continue the trend of 100 yards against the Titans? What do you think?
Anytime we say that he's going to go off, it goes to Hines.
Yep.
It's like,
and I'm on the Hines train this week. I'm on the Hines train. I think he's going to score a touchdown.
I'm on the Hines train. Wait, what's that, Mox?
So I've plugged in Naeem Hines as my RB2, and so I need Darren to go ahead and say the other guy's going to go off.
Consider it done. Consider it done.
Very well.
Well, I do have a couple facts before we jump real into it. They're both 7-3. This is a battle between the teams. The Colts won the last time they played in Tennessee. But the Colts have some big injuries or COVID shit going on their defense. Their Pro Bowl tight end, defensive tackle, DeForest Buckner, the defensive end, Denico Autry, they're both out with COVID, and their linebacker, Bobby Okereke is out with an ankle. These are big holes for them. And I think that Derrick Henry is going to have a really phenomenal day. Last time they played, he had 149 yards, and he has topped the 1,000-yard rush. He's the first player this year to do it. Phillip Rivers is doing his 235th consecutive start since he first started in 2006 with the Chargers. So yeah, that's where we're at. I think Derrick Henry's going to blow up, and there are some major holes in the Colts defense right now.
Yeah, I think that's a good call out, because obviously they're 7-3 because of their defense. It's not been because of Phillip Rivers, although last couple of games Rivers has been playing better, but it's their defense that's been carrying them through all these games. So I think that's a really good call out.
Yeah, there's probably 4 or 5 games where Rivers has been pedestrian and they've won.
Yes, good. Mox, what say you about this matchup? What are your feelings?
I say I agree. I think Derrick Henry is going to continue to be a horse. He's been my straight RB1 all year long, and I hope he continues to tear teams up.
Yeah, I think today's going to be a good day for him.
I hope so.
Yeah, I think you're still, folks like AJ Brown, you're still playing just because he's a stud. But I mean, I think the last game, that was his only bad game of the entire season since he came back from his injury, was when they played Indianapolis, of however many weeks ago that was. I think he caught like 1 for 21 or something like that. He had that dropped pass that would have been a 70-yard touchdown, but their corners have been strong. So I think, like you guys are saying, Derrick Henry's probably the call there. A little iffy on the receivers. Titans' defense against passing has not been great. So Rivers might have a decent day, and especially guys like Pittman who've really stepped up. He probably has a pretty decent day against the Titans. But yeah, Derrick Henry, massive guy, big day. I think.
Yeah. I mean, even his dread is thick. He has like one massive dread on the back of his head. It's so strong. What a strong dread that is.
You know what they say about the size of the dread?
What?
You should be able to tackle him with it. I'm surprised. Let's see, everybody.
Is that what they say?
Let's hit that like button, everybody. There's far too few thumbs up going on for the number of views. Hit it up. Do I need to come into your home and slap you around and say, hit that like button? Hit that like button. Oh my goodness. See, Matt? Oh, it's great. Everyone needs a Malk. Everyone needs a Malk. If you're in a bar fight, Malk comes in with the slaps.
Yeah.
Because in Europe, they don't punch. They only slap. You talking to
bottles.
me? You fucking could. And they just slap each other.
I'm sorry. Can you keep going with that accent?
No, because I only know how to say the most vulgar things with that accent, and I'm gonna avoid it. We're a family. No, we're not. All right, so
it's a family show, dude.
You want to talk?
So the Colts are getting COVIDed also. This is ramping. It's ravaging the league. It's amazing. Fantasy football has never been this way. If this is your first year of playing fantasy football, like Malkier tries, I feel sorry for you. It's not always this erratic. Usually trends make sense. Usually you can say, oh, you're playing the Colts. Don't play anyone against the Colts. They're very good on defense. Oh, but little do we know, 5 players are out on the defensive starting lineup.
Right.
So everything's swapping around. Literally, we'll get to the most insane one, which is the Denver Broncos have no quarterbacks playing. We'll get to that. Just the most incredible situation ever. In point it again. Oh, and as we break, really, I wanted to discuss with you how you think the league is handling these things. We'll get into that discussion. Do you think there's fair treatment between teams? Anyway, so we will.
Ooh, we're getting deep,
Oh,
boys.
That's called a tease. So now we will move into our break if we've exhausted everything about this matchup. Anybody else have anything to say about Titans at Colts?
Nope.
All right. So boys, we're going to take a 10-minute break. And let's all mute our mics, and we will be listening to a band. It looks like a black hole, and this is our drummer Todd, who is in our show that we do on Thursdays. Check it out, a first-time reader show. So this is looks like a black hole. This is a 10-minute break. Stay with us, and we'll be back to finish up all the matchups.
I can't hear you, Ray. Oh, look.
Sorry, reading my book. Oh wait, is that
It's always the right show.
Yeah, it's always the right.
Ladies
show.
and gentlemen, we have a Mustache Hall of Fame. You guys want to see the latest entry in the Mustache Hall of Fame? Give me a drum roll. Drum roll.
Hell yes.
What is that? Christensen, right?
Yeah. Oh, look
Todd
at
Christensen.
that. Todd Christensen. You are correct.
Look at that hair. That's awesome, man.
Which is making me think of next year's Hall of Fame might include hair, but
He looks
It's
like
the natural
the
progression from mustache, isn't it? So
Kirk Hammett was growing up, and he's like, I want hair like Todd Christensen.
what are the chances that he's actually throwing a football or just posing?
I think he's totally throwing a football.
Todd Christensen.
He's just that handsome. He's just look at the squint, the eye squint. Yeah,
He's
he's
the
dialing
hair
in
just
target.
doesn't move no matter what. That hair doesn't move. All right.
Designed for a helmet.
All right.
I imagine him having the Randy Macho Man Savage voice when he's throwing the ball.
Oh yeah, well you know me, Gene.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a poll.
rises to the top.
Lovely Elizabeth.
The top.
Snap into a Slim Jim.
All right. I think when you're so muscularly angry, you just kind of make everything go top. Put it on the top. You can't just say top. It's top. All right. So week 12. Here's our Twitter poll. Question number 1 is over under Brian Hill 1+ rushing touchdown as Gurley's replacement. Number 2, over under Kyler Murray 67.5 rushing yards over under. Number 3, will Travis Kelce get 20.5 fantasy points with a 0.5 PPR? Over under 2+ interceptions for Miami's defense versus the woeful New York Jets. And number 5, true or false, Antonio Brown will lead the Bucs in targets again this week. That's our Twitter poll. Go to hashtag @WayLeague and participate in the poll if you can. We'd appreciate it. Again, we have one question breaching 50 answers, other questions breaching 5. It is weird. Twitter's weird. Help us out. People
Can
really
I just say, I love our Twitter polls. If you look at last week, one of the questions that we had was, who will have more total yards between Fournette and Ronald Jones? I took the over. I took Fournette. I think a couple of you guys took Ronald Jones.
I think I took Fournette.
Mark and I took Jones.
Fournette had 27. Fournette had 27 total yards last week. Guess how many Ronald Jones had last week? 24.
Less, yes.
24. Fournette had more total yards with 27.
Oh, no.
So we were right then.
Yes, exactly.
He was the king of the losers.
Another question was Mike Davis, 79.5 total yards. He had 70. So the question was 79.5. He had 79.
Oh,
I got that one wrong, but man, we are spot on with our questions. I'll just say that.
good one.
Did Taysom Hill hurdle anybody last week?
He did get 2 rushing touchdowns, but unfortunately, that didn't meet the one passing touchdown question that we had.
Yes. I had proposed the question, will he hurdle a human being? And I don't believe he did. I thought he would.
Will he before season's end?
Oh, yeah, guaranteed. He loves the hurdle.
Okay.
He's a big hurdler. I don't understand.
Heavy hurdler, huh?
I always thought it would be interesting for a defensive player to just kind of ram their head into the person's nuts when that happens. It seems like it's wide open for just like a boom. Sorry, boy, you want to hurdle me? Nut job. Like headbutt the nut. Why is that not happening more?
Headbutt the nut.
Dean. Why is that not happening more? Why, when a player is hurdling another player, does the defensive player not just ram his head up in the nutsack of the... Tell me.
The men's rule.
The men's rule.
Yeah. Says the guy who's wearing a jockstrap now.
Maybe that's why he's wearing a jockstrap. He does too much hurdling.
Yeah, maybe that's why. Oh,
Jonathan Taylor Thomas, the voice of the Lion King, he's out.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas is out. The voice of the Lion King is out. Also, Jonathan Taylor, the running back for Indianapolis Colts, is out. Am I correct? No, not Colts. Colts, yes.
Yes.
Colts. Thank you. That means it's a Hines game, right? Hines?
Or Wilkins. If you're really stretched thin, Wilkins is probably the lead. He's going to probably get some of the early downs.
I just want to point out, Brother Dan, emphasize Hines is going to have a great game today. That was his bold prediction.
I said he will score a touchdown.
All right. Now, onward and upwards. We have 14 games to cover, and we are on game number 6. So let's speed talk. Browns at Jaguars. Here's a whole lot of stats. Just kidding. Cleveland is second in league and quarterback pressure is allowed. So they're just letting that Baker just run rampant and get hit a lot. Jags are 3rd in the league and quarterback pressures given. So will that just wash each other out? Will Baker remain clean this game? Welcome back, Mike Glennon. Yay! 36 touchdowns and 20 interceptions on his career. Baker Mayfield has not thrown a touchdown pass in 3 straight games. What is going on? The Jags have given up multiple touchdowns to quarterbacks in 4 straight. Will those cancel each other out? Week 11, Chubb had 20 touches. Oh, wait, that doesn't sound Chubb. That doesn't, okay. Hunt has 14 touches. Hunt gets more red zone touches, though, when they are both on the field. So they do still remain quite relevant, even though Chubb is getting the bulk of the work currently. Stats. Brother Dan, you have more stats. Give it to us.
I have a couple of more stats. So this has been a COVID-affected week for the Browns. They haven't been able. Their facility was shut down completely for 3 days. They haven't had a chance to have the offense and defense on the same field at the same time this whole week. That shouldn't make a difference, but it may. Who knows? But the Jaguars are so dang depleted right now. So they're without their quarterback Minshew. They're without their best wide receiver DJ Chark. They're without their best defensive lineman Josh Allen. They're without 2 of their strong safeties, Josh Jones and Daniel Thomas. They're without 4 of their 5 starting quarterbacks. And they're going to be without 3 of their defensive coaches because of COVID. So the Jaguars defense is just Swiss cheese right now. They're 1-8. They've lost 8 in a row. The Browns are 7-3. I think Mayfield's going to start. I think it's going to be a big game for all of them. I think Mayfield, Hunt, Chubb. I think they're all going to have some pretty glorious stats.
Good call. So another COVID casualty. They literally can't even practice on the same field. Wow. I do think that matters. You're right. I mean, that's got to matter.
Well, we don't think about defensive coaches being out, but 3 of them are out. So that's gotta affect somewhat how your defensive gameplay goes, especially if you've lost 8 in a row. I mean, come on.
Players are like, when the cat's away, the mice shall play. They're like, I'm gonna go for that interception. They get an interception. Everyone's just like laterally like crazy. They're just like, F it, we're doing everything.
You had a great stat too, Ryan, about how the Browns allow the least pressure to Mayfield, and the Jaguars produce the least pressure to a quarterback. So Mayfield should have all day back there. He can just kind of sit back, read, do a crossword, be like 7 across. But I'm gonna throw it to Chubb, who's running across or whatever.
I still think, but you do have to remember that the Browns are a run-first team. Like, I agree with you. The matchup's better. I'm sure Baker Mayfield is happy that for the first time in 4 weeks, it will be, 65 degrees and sunny versus, rainy, muddy, 40 mile per hour winds. Right. So that should help them. But they are, even in the most perfect conditions, they're still a run-first team. So I think, the running backs on both teams are an easy call to play. Little iffy to trust anyone else, I think.
I agree. Well, I mean, yeah, Baker
Mic
Mayfield, he's not thrown one touchdown in 3 games. That's astounding. I mean, yes, you do have the double-headed monster, and you do have running backs who will both top 100 yards. Do we think that's going to happen this week? Let's just keep with that trend. Are we going to have 100 rushing yards from both running backs this week?
This would be the game to do it, I'd say.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, the caveat I've always had is 100 yards from scrimmage. So because Hunt gets a lot of these little passing wheel routes and whatnot. So
yeah.
Hey, I'm remembering.
It's war.
And my questions are war. You can't caveat the shit out of my questions. 100-yard rushing yards, yes or no? Don't be all caveat. What? Caviar? What? Go on, Darren.
You asked this question last week. I think you're supposed to do some push-ups. You lost the bet.
Yep.
What?
He said, waving his flabby arm.
All right, I've been working on this.
All right.
I'm working on this. All right. How do I do this? All right. Oh.
1.
Oh.
2. All the way down, Ryan. 3.
I can't. The angles.
Here, I'm gonna put my fist under your chest, and I want you to touch my fist with your chest. That's only 3. That's only 3.
I thought I said 3.
3 was the answer.
3. Thank you. Dan, jeez.
I thought you had 5. I thought you had 5 in you.
I don't.
Come on.
I don't.
Come on. No, Ryan,
Dan,
if you don't try, you don't win.
We're live, Dan. Leave me alone.
Okay.
We're live. Jesus.
Play nicely, boys. Play nicely.
All right, take your inhaler. Come on. It's okay, big guy.
All right. So here we go. We're going
next
to
game.
Next game. Yes. Next, we have a comments are Sarah Curly. Really, I'm going with the Browns only because my hubby is scared of the hope.
Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering?
Ryan, Jesse the Body Ventura can kind of join our Mustache Hall of Fame. Did you see that thing? Play it again and just look at it.
Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering?
Yes. Jesse the Mustache Ventura.
All right, that's an impromptu entry. Yes, good. We'll get him in there. Okay. All right, next game. So, anybody else have anything to say about the Bengals at the Jaguars?
Nope.
Right, good call. Not an exciting matchup for anybody. All right, here we go. Next is Panthers at the Vikings. We have the over-under is 51.5 points. Cousins has 8 touchdowns over the last 3 games, even though Dalvin Cook is still remaining dominant, which is pretty scary for the league. Minnesota shut down the Lions last week. Panthers allowed Dalton 3 touchdowns last week. Well, they allowed Cousins to continue his form. McCaffrey is out. Bridgewater returns. When Bridgewater is playing, Robbie Henderson gets the highest percentage of targets. And Cooks, he has 27.3 carries, 187.5 yards, and 1.8 touchdowns on average the last 4 games. That is just his average, which is freaking insane. What's behind those numbers, guys? Brother Dan, do you have more stats?
Yeah. Well, they're the Panthers. They both won 4 games. Panthers are 4-7. Vikings are 4-6. Bridgewater is back, and as you had in there, Robbie Anderson gets the most amount of targets. But combined, DJ Moore and Robbie Anderson are the only 2 teammates with 800 yards receiving, both over 800 yards each. Because as you mentioned again, Cousins has been super hot. So since the bye week, He's had 9 touchdowns and 1 interception. He's had a 128.2 passer rating, and he's completed over 71% of his passes. But there is no Thielen again, and Dalvin Cook has been blowing up. 187 yards average over the last 4 games is ridiculous. So that's what I got. That's what I got.
No,
Yeah, if
beautiful.
you have Dalvin Cook, he's been carrying you. Like you're probably going into the fantasy playoffs very happy at this point. But
I wonder who has Dalvin Cooks in this league, and I wonder who must be shivering in their boots. I wonder who's been like touting Derrick Henry as the savior, but I've been quietly playing Dalvin Cooks all over his ass.
Yeah,
I wonder.
shivery boots.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, brother. Yeah, Darren, this fantasy soothsayer. That is correct.
I'm sorry. Is this some bullying going on there? Some hounding?
I don't know what that was. It was fun.
Mox, one of them is on the bottom of the pack, basically. So don't you be taking it, bro.
I'm no longer at the very bottom.
Right.
No, you're
I think
13.
100 this week. Daddy's
Well, yeah,
I'm on a 2-win streak.
That'll
I'm on a
start
2-win streak.
Wait, say
I'm
again,
going to
Dean.
win this week. Oh, sorry.
I said I'm the hunter this week. I'm coming for you. You're gonna stumble. You're gonna have a bad week, and then right back down you go with your little bitty points against.
I know. I need someone in my league to step up against you. Someone, please have.
I'm gonna headbutt you in the nuts.
You're going to try and hurdle him, and he's
I'm
going to
hurtling.
no man code with you.
Here it comes. Boosh.
Right in the nuts.
Oh man! All man rules are done with. What did you call them?
The
Man
man
code.
but
Yeah.
I don't know if that applies to puppets.
That's a good point.
It doesn't.
They ain't got eggs. You're
Yeah,
fine.
we're above that. We transcended fucking gender. All right, next game. Panthers at Vikings. The over/under is 51.5 points. Cousins as
We ran down this line.
You're just
mother
you've done this
Yeah,
effer.
we're-
I was so stoked with my joke about gender. I just was gonna read that like. All right, woo! Comedy's great. Raiders at Falcons. Wait, are we done with this game? Have we exhausted this game with all of our?
I just add Justin Jefferson is probably a good call. Carolina's passing defense is really strong, but with Thielen out, there's no one else to throw to. So you have Justin Jefferson. I think he's probably going to have a decent game even against a strong passing defense.
Good call.
That was a
Anybody
good call.
else? Anybody else with Thielen out? Anybody else get a bump
No.
besides Jefferson? Darren, can you think of anybody else? How about who's
No,
there?
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Cousins doesn't throw that much. It's going to be Dalvin Cook game, but when he does throw, I think Justin Jefferson's going to be the primary receiver.
Okay. I hear you on that. Actually, Malkier, can you look up Justin Jefferson on the Fantasy Pros expert consensus ranking? Let us know what the experts say. See if they agree with our friend Darren. The next game on our docket is Raiders at Falcons. The over-under is 54 points, so they think they're going to be going crazy, and I do too. Atlanta allows the most fantasy points to quarterbacks, and Derek Carr has been on a roll. With Todd Gurley out, Brian Hill gets a start. Okay, so the season totals in target share. Darren Waller, it's 28%, Renfro 13, Aguilar 13, and Ruggs 12. But Aguilar last week got the lion's share of the targets. On for the Atlanta Falcons, Ridley is leading the team with 23 targets, percent of the target share. Jones gets 19%, and Gage 17%. I was surprised to find those totals out. And for wide receiver ones, Keenan Allen and Tyreek Hill have torched the Vegas Raiders 2 of the last 3 games. So will Ridley, I guess, be considered the wide receiver 1 for the Atlanta Falcons?
Yeah, with Jones out, man, Ridley's a strong play this week.
Heck yeah.
I got
So
your
Brett-
Jefferson notes.
What's
To
that?
jump back to that, I got Jefferson. He's ranked 11th this week, and he has averaged 2.61 PPR, points per target, which ranks as the most in the NFL, and the wide receivers who have seen at least 40 targets.
Whoa. Yeah, that's astounding for a rookie. God, there's so much exciting rookie play this year. Darren, great call. Great call. So, but back to the Raiders at Falcons. Brother Dan, do you have any more fun stats for us?
Well, yeah, the Raiders are doing well. They've won, I think 3 in a row. I didn't write it down, but I think it was 3 in a row. They're 6-4. Falcons are 3-7 and have been kind of a disappointment. Julio Jones is out. Gurley is out. So we're gonna have Brian Hill taking over the running responsibility. And you mentioned the Falcons. They have given up 27 sacks this season so far, and they have the second worst pass defense in the league. I kind of expect that the Raiders are going to be kind of airing it out a little bit, and I think that Derek Carr may have a pretty good day. It's indoors, so yeah, I can see this being a pretty and they've won their four of their 6 games that they've won have been on the road. So,
yeah, when you look at Atlanta, I mean, Matt Ryan, there was a question last week on playing Matt Ryan versus, I forget who the other quarterback was for the question that came in. I thought Matt Ryan was going to have a better game. He ended up not having a very good game, but you saw the impact of Julio Jones going out. He has horrible games when Julio Jones is not playing, and then he has pretty good games when Julio Jones is there. So I think you're trusting Ridley, but not trusting Matt Ryan overall. Gage probably has maybe Hayden Hurst, the tight end. They probably get a little bit of the volume, even though they haven't been playing all that well. But with Jones out, it's going to be a scramble. So I agree on the call for the Raiders. I think Derek Carr. I'm playing Derek Carr in one league because Atlanta gives up the most fantasy points as a defense.
What I don't know what to say, I'll do. Just kidding. No, that's amazing. Yeah. So with Julio Jones out, Ridley, definitely play him. You're correct. Earlier this year, I highlighted that when Julio Jones plays, Matt Ryan has like a 72% passer completion rating or something like that. Like he is just really so noticeably better with him on the field, and it must just be his how teams have to guard Julio and how they have learned to exploit that over the years. And as you see, the totals are Ridley is playing like the wide receiver 1, but I imagine that is truly only because Julio Jones is still a transcendent athlete, that they're having to probably shade his way, double him, do whatever to stop him. And over the years, they just have figured that formula out. So I don't think, would Ridley be a wide receiver 1 on other teams? Or if Julio Jones, were to somehow, break his kneecap, would Ridley become a top 10, wide receiver outright, you think? Is he that good?
I think he is. I mean, you've seen production with him. Whether Julio Jones is there or not, you've seen a lot of production from Ridley. I agree. I mean, Jones is going to, probably gets the top corner usually against him, but Ridley still produces.
Right, and to Ryan's point, you certainly have. Where there is a comfort level that's obvious between Matty Old Man Ice and Julio Jones. When he's not there, even if you're talking a half a second to adjust, they are giving up 27 sacks this season, which is over 2 a game. So without Julio Jones, I could see he may be getting 2 or 3 getting sacked 2 or 3 times today.
I am sad that we can't have the will Todd Gurley fall forward and get a touchdown debate today with him out. That's always a fun one.
Will Brian Hill? Yeah.
Yeah, I think Brian Hill is just going to be a different type of. It might look really. It'll be fun to see his impact and see if a more speedy back is how that's gonna change their game plan.
If I'm looking for a running back, if I have if I have to try to find someone on the waiver wire, Hill could be a decent choice. I think the Raiders' rushing defense isn't that great, so he'll get some volume. I think he'll pick up Hill and play him if you really, really are stretched.
I agree. I did in one league. He was available, and I have him in. I put him in over Mike Williams in my flex. We'll see how that works out. All right. But again, I never look backwards, only look forwards. Contractually obligated to never look backwards. Reminder, we have a Twitter poll. Everyone, I'm not going to read them over. Just head on over to @WayLeague and answer our Twitter poll. We will go through the responses as we get closer to game time. It is 9:30. We have a half hour before the first games begin. I hope everyone is got their shit together. If you don't, let us help you out. That's what we're here for. The interaction.
It's hard. Yeah. There's game time decisions. We'll let you know as soon as we hear. We'll throw it right up here. And if you have any questions about your team, let us know. Let's put great minds together and see what we can do.
Yes, great minds, puppet pillow heads. We got it going on.
Puppet pillow heads.
Puppet pillow heads. Just a reminder, we have Todd Christensen joining the Mustache Hall of Fame. And we're going to move to the next matchup.
Yeah, so Raiders and Falcons. Was there anything else that we wanted to kind of bring up before we moved on?
Have we exhausted it? It is exhausted. Thoroughly bong. We need a thoroughly exhausted sound. Like a move on.
Oh, the game we've all been waiting to talk about.
Oh man, so we were really, I felt really disappointed. Earlier in the year we had the Steelers versus the what was it, no, it was Steelers. Anyway, so it was Steelers, and they were supposed to cremate this one team, and I'm having a hard time remembering it. And we are all wondering if the backup quarterback for the Steelers was going to jump in, and it ended up being a close game, and that was crazy. Is there any chance? Is there any chance at all that this will not just be an absolute devastating blowout victory for the Saints? Is there any narrative at all that allows for
yeah, there is, I suppose, if you look at defense. I mean, that's the Broncos, kind of their only shot right now. We're talking about Hinton. He did play quarterback for 3 years at Wake Forest.
Yeah, Matthew.
And according to his coach, his high school coach, he said he was the best player he's ever seen. So,
Brother Dan interviews his high school coach. This is amazing. We had less than 24 hours to find this information. Brother Dan contacts his high school coach, finds out that he's the best he's ever seen. Matthew Netherland says Steelers were supposed to maul the Cowboys. That's true. What the heck are the Broncos going to do? Thank you. That's the one I was trying to remember. The Cowboys. Matthew.
The Saints have not lost a step since losing Drew Brees. Curly Whirly should be happy about that. They're 8-2 right now. The Broncos are 4-6. New Orleans hasn't beaten the Broncos since 1994. Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
All right. Why are we playing this game? All right, let's get up close and personal. All right, guys, let's get in there. Why is this game even happening? Is it fair for the league to make them play this game?
This game is only happening.
What's that, Dean?
You know what? They all broke protocol.
All right, let's take turns. Dean.
Sorry.
All right, this game's only happening so Melvin Gordon can score 2 touchdowns sitting on my bench and make me regret not playing him again. That's the only reason they're playing this game.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. One of my favorite stats, the Saints have not allowed a 100-yard rushing day by a running back since 2017. It was 30 years ago.
That is fantastic, Soothsayer. Jeez, well done.
So I think you'll be fine with Gordon on your bench.
I hope so.
So, I mean, we have
what is the weather?
Niners,
What is? Oh, go ahead.
we had the Niners earlier this year playing like the sophomore team, like not even the JV team. Like we had the sophomore team out there, and it was such an abysmal game. And we turn around and we get the Ravens get to push their game back. And now we have the Broncos are being forced to play without a quarterback. It just feels like, what's going on? Why are we not just postponing these games and just adding a week? What is the incentive to play this trash game? This is going to be a freaking trash game. This is going to be a laughably bad game. I predict like my bold prediction is 2 defensive touchdowns this game. Is what I'm boldly predicting. I think this is going to be just a disgusting blowout. I think it'd be a shame on the league to even allow this game to proceed. I don't understand why they're not just stretching it out. Why wouldn't a week 18 even be more of a benefit to the NFL? You have more football. Like, why don't we just postpone this shit and extend the league and let's have more fun? Like, I don't understand this. I could keep doing this. I'll do this all year. Let's just extend this to week 20. Frick it. Like, why are we putting out trash games? And why are we having like this debate? I understand that the reason they're saying it is because it's all about spread, and they say, okay, it only hit this one group of, they've quarantined the quarterbacks because it's only hit them. I get all the whatever they claim it. It just really seems like these are more PR moves. They canceled the Thanksgiving game, I thought, as an absolute PR move because they don't even want that debate to be happening. Should this game be going on? COVID this, COVID. They don't want NFL and COVID to be in the same sentence. So I understand that PR move to just take away our Thanksgiving game, but it just seems like it's so willy-nilly, and I just don't understand why we're having this game. I'm done with this rant. If anybody else has anything else to say, we can go back to normal.
No, your point is very valid. I think it is kind of unsafe to have someone who hasn't even trained to be a quarterback in the last 2 years to be thrown into an NFL game against an 8-2 Saints that will just throw blitzes at the guy all day. This guy's going to get chewed up. And the backup to him is a third string running back. So this whole game is just we're just throwing in like center fielders to pitch and shit. I mean, this really shouldn't occur. I agree with you, Ryan. I wish that they could just postpone the whole thing. Say, hey, listen. I mean, all 3 quarterbacks were all hanging out without masks, and one of them got it. They're all supposed to be wearing masks. They blew it.
Yep. They blew it.
So they blew it. I mean, this was avoidable. Jerks.
I mean, on some level, you could say, well, if you blow it that way, then that's the consequence you get. Like that, the team should just discipline the quarterbacks the way they need to, and that's one way to look at it. Like, hey, man, if you're gonna let this shit get into your locker room, but it doesn't feel like anyway. So,
that's Matthew, a good question, Matthew Netherland.
Yeah, I think this might be the most relevant point is that they don't want that kind of asterisk on what the playoffs are going to be like. If they add those teams into the playoffs, scheduling, that's going to make it kind of like a further asterisk year. Already this year is kind of kind of tainted, and the history books are going to have to reflect that. How are you going to reflect the kind of historical numbers when all of a sudden for 1 year alone you add 2 teams to the playoff? Like, you know what I mean? It seems kind of that's probably the most relevant point. Although I do believe that there's a money incentive to just adding more weeks to football. Like, it does seem like, why not? Like, I'd watch it. Sarah Curly-Whirly clearly doesn't care. She's just saying Saints who dat.
8-2, baby.
Well, to borrow a phrase from my friend Ryan, I think they're contractually obligated to play the game.
I think contractually obligated, but no one's seen the contracts, oddly enough.
Oh, big smoke.
Money line is plus 920. I might just have to do it. Yeah, bet $1.
Put a buck on the Broncos just in case.
Put $1, maybe $5. Don't go crazy. I couldn't find a $5. I have no idea what that's referencing. Okay.
Yeah.
I think
teach everyone.
Sarah might be was maybe texting a friend and forgot she's watching the show.
Sarah needs a good piping.
She's enjoying the show so much that she's texting us instead of the friend.
All right, we got 20 minutes to game time.
I love Brother Dan's call out about Hinton being the best quarterback that the high school coach has ever seen. He's so good that he now plays wide receiver.
Right. Well, he was a backup. He played at Wake Forest and then was a backup at Wake Forest, and was like kind of that multifunctional player.
Is there a way of looking up the last time a fifth string quarterback has played an NFL game?
I will look it up.
All right. As that is happening, the most unuseful use of our time. Just kidding. Yeah, 49ers at Rams. Over under is 45 points. Another abysmally low-scoring game is being predicted. We have Nick Mullins. He has 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions on the year. Okay, the running back, Raheem Mostert. Quarterbacks, Richard Sherman and Jeff Wilson. Richard and Trent Williams are all returning. So we have Raheem Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr. returning. That is definitely going to mix up that backfield. Brown gets 39%, Henderson gets 39%, and Akers gets 29% of the snap percentage over the last 2 games. So it is a cluster F. San Francisco has given up 5 total touchdowns to running backs over the last 3 games. The question is, will it be Brown, Henderson, or Akers getting those? And San Francisco gave up only 56 yards to Saints wide receivers in Week 10. They do have the ability to stop the pass when things are clicking. Dan, do you have any more stats before we discuss?
Yeah, the Rams have lost the last 3 that they've played to San Francisco. But the Rams now have the best ranked D. George Kittle's still out. And as you mentioned, Mullins, this is his 5th start, but he has 6 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. 49ers were pretty depleted. They still are. They still lack their quarterback in Kittle. But they are getting a couple weapons back. But the Rams are blowing up. They're 7-3. They not destroyed, but Goff went off. Goff went off, baby. Went off against the Buccaneers last week. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's home game for the Rams. I think that the Rams are going to continue their winning ways.
I don't know. Can we just say don't play anyone and we can move on to the next game? I don't know how you trust anyone. I mean, Goff has a very average game against like Seattle's defense, who gives up more passing yards than like anyone by far. And then he goes into Tampa Bay and has a great game against a defense that was supposed to shut him down. So how do you trust anyone?
Right. Would they have 31 points or something? Yeah.
I mean, so you're saying you wouldn't play Raheem Mostert?
I just don't know how you trust him, first game back.
Yeah.
Against a very strong Rams defense, right?
Yes. But with I know with Trent Williams back on the line, and it's gonna so I want to bet you on this. I believe that Raheem Mostert will score more than over 17 fantasy points this week.
Wow. Yeah, I'd take the under on that.
You take the under on that.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, me too.
Would
I'll bet some push-ups. Do you think that Aaron Donald's going to have 1.5 sacks over under?
Over.
Do you think 2?
I think 2 at least.
Okay.
Just based.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Yes, you're right, Sarah. I did say put in your pipe and smoke it, and okay. So and you went looking for your pipe.
Oh, that's right.
I would. Do you have any roommates? Are they stealing your pipes? That's not cool, Matthew. You're right. Mostert won't be 100%. So yeah, what does that mean? He won't be the fastest man in the NFL this week. He'll just be the 3rd fastest. Everyone could blow me. All right, so Ryan
My
Mostert,
blow me has a first name. It's
Over
Ryan.
over 17 points. I'm standing over. I'm standing firm on it.
Okay.
All right. I mean, no, at least 17 points. Sorry, he's gonna score at least 17 points. That's what we're saying. 16.5 plus.
Wait, that's over 17 points in a 5 points per rush league, right? Is that the league that we're playing in?
There are several hidden bonuses in my leagues. If your name is Raheem, you just get a bonus. All right. Okay. Do you guys think there's any chance the Falcons are going to beat the Raiders today? Absolutely none, in my opinion.
Nope.
Anybody?
Nope.
Anyone?
No, we think Carr's gonna have a good day.
Do you think the Falcon? I don't know what the over under, or I don't know what the line is, but could the Falcons cover? Is one question.
Hold on, is that a dissenting opinion I'm sensing, Darren?
I think it's it's not impossible. You know, Calvin Ridley's gonna here's my bold call. Calvin Ridley's gonna get 3 touchdowns. There you go. And they're gonna beat the Raiders 24-21.
The Falcons have a better chance of beating the Raiders than the who's playing quarterback for that team against the Saints. Yeah, there's no way the Broncos beat the Saints.
Yeah. I would agree with that. With that. Definitely. But still, I'm my guess. All right, so
Raiders are 6-4. They're rolling. I think it's Raiders.
And the Raiders are chameleon-like. They change their offensive game plan.
Gruden, Ryan, everyone, let's give our Gruden face. God damn it! Ah! You motherfucker!
He's
I had a friend, or my nephew's friend, had a pit bull that was named Gruden when he was the original coach of the Raiders, because he was a mean dog.
All right, Pitbull's named Gruden. We have a Twitter poll. We're going to get to that shortly. We understand that the games are going to start. We will continue to go into the afternoon games as we progress. We will not end at 10. We'll just continue on. We have 4 more games to talk about. All right, and then Raiders show up and disappear randomly. Yes, I don't know about this year, though. Matthew, I'm a firm believer. I'm a lover of the Raiders this year. I think they've been able to show so many different ways to win. And I think
just get rid of all those costume clowns in the stands, and suddenly they play better.
Yeah, for real. Maybe they've just hated that the entire
Get rid
time.
of all these wannabe, warriors or whatever.
Hey. Oh, man. I think Brother Dan's going to get death threats.
Bring it at Ryan at Way of the Leaf or at Ryan on the internet.
Okay, so let's go through our answers to the Twitter poll, and I will bring up the Twitter's responses. But yeah, this is question number 1, guys. Let's go through it. Brian Hill, 1+ rushing touchdown as Gurley's replacement. So say what? Brother Dan.
I say no.
Malkier.
Nope.
Dean.
I'm gonna go no as well.
And Darren.
I'm contrarian. I think Brian Hill's going to get a rushing touchdown. Yes.
Against the steel curtain of the Oakland Raiders.
All right, now
Vegas Raiders.
Oh, wow. Okay, did Palpatine just come in or something?
Do it.
All right.
Vote on the Twitters.
I say no. Twitter with 54 votes says 79.6% over. All right. Question number 2.
How many votes?
With 54 votes.
Nice.
Good
job, Twitter.
Check out these crazy, stupid numbers. All right. Number 2, over and under, Kyler Murray with 67.5 rushing yards. What say you, Brother Dan?
I say over.
Malk.
I was feeling over as well.
Dean.
I'm gonna go under. I think he's still a little banged up.
Darren.
Yep, I'm with that. I think it's an under because he is banged up.
I say under as well, and Twitter with 13 votes agrees with 61.5% of the votes under. Now, number 3, will Travis Kelce get 20.5 fantasy points with a 0.5 PPR? Brother Dan.
I have to against the Bucks. I'm gonna say no.
Malk.
Oh, look good it does not.
Dean.
No, 20.5 is too many points to believe any tight end's going to get any given week.
Oh, okay. And Darren.
Yeah, I think it's a no. I mean, more than half of his games, he's been above 20.5 fantasy points per half PPR, but I don't think against the Bucks he's going to do it.
Okay, and I say no as well. Twitter with 9 votes says 77.8% says yes. And I don't, so that's very interesting. I wonder how many votes that is.
9 votes? That's probably like 6.5 votes.
6. I know. It's so weird. All right, so so the fourth question: Miami's defense with 2+ interceptions versus New York Jets. What say you, Brother Dan?
I pointed out before they've had 16 games with a turnover, 2 interceptions. I am saying yes.
All right, Malk.
I'm sticking with the negativity. I'm saying no. I reckon they'll get 1.
I'm going to say no as well. I think they can get 3 takeaways. I think they're going to have 2 turnover or fumble recoveries. I don't see 2 interceptions.
And I'm calling the over. Come on, it's the Jets.
The Jets are going to have to throw it all second half. It's going to be a feast day. It's going to be a late Thanksgiving.
It's an over.
For the Miami defense.
I say under. All right, and Twitter with 10 votes says 50%, 50-50.
Well, good question then. If we only get half and half,
we rarely get that. Question. And then the last question is true or false? Antonio Brown would lead all Bucs receivers in total targets. All right, so Brother Dan.
This is a groovy question, man. I like it. I am going to. I'm going to say true. The Bucs lost last week badly. I think he's going to rely on his old faithful mustache man.
Mustache man. All right, Malk.
Believe in the tash. I say yes.
And believe in the stash. All right, Dean.
True.
And Darren.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, come on, with his best roommate ever, Tom Brady.
Buddies.
All right, we are contractually. Let's go.
Get anything from the fridge? Does that mean gazelle?
All right, we don't have a lot of time. Type Xander. 2 wide receiver spots. 2 running backs. 1 flex. All right, here we go. We're gonna help you with your whole lineup. Robinson, Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara. Let's do running backs first. Robinson, right, Henry, Kamara.
1 second.
Can we just get a screenshot of his team and we can just make all the decisions for him?
No, we got it. No, we're out.
His team is packed, man.
Right.
No, I'm saying okay, Henry and Kamara, and then for wide receiver. All right,
all right, we're starting with wide receiver. Yeah.
Trying to stay undefeated. Yeah, you're doing great.
Do you pick Hopkins if you have Adams and Ridley?
It's right. I think it's Adams and Ridley. I mean, come on. Right.
I think so too. Hopkins is going to be guarded by the defensive player last year.
I agree. So I say Henry, Kamara, Ridley, Adams.
Holy shit!
Wait, hold on. Wait.
What?
2 wide receiver, 2 RB,
1 flex. No, they play them all then. I think the math play everybody.
What are we deciding? You can play them all.
I don't know. I think we're playing everybody.
Yeah,
okay.
What's the question?
I'm asking a bunch of people trying to see who everyone thinks we sit. All right.
So go back to the players again.
Yeah,
sit Robinson.
I think.
I mean,
Yeah,
we have 6
I think,
spots.
look, he's number one in all of the NFL for percentage of running back carries for his team, but it's a tough matchup. I think the one thing that it gives me pause for Kamara is just we saw last week. It was his first game. Was it ever or the last like 55, 56 games that he had not gotten a reception coming out of the backfield because of Taysom Hill becoming the quarterback? I think that's where I get some pause is
well, keep in mind they are going against Denver,
who
who doesn't have a quarterback. So I think that they are going to take the lead pretty early, and I think that Kamara is going to get a lot of most of the production.
There you go. So Robinson, Hopkins, if you're looking to sit someone for either, is that that's our consensus? Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Then I would say of all of them, I would sit Hopkins of all of them. If we had to sit one, I would sit Hopkins.
Yep.
Yeah, looking at the consensus rankings, Hopkins is probably your best bet out of all the sits, but it's all pretty tight.
All right. Sorry we took a while to figure out what you're
No,
asking,
this is what we do. This is what we do. We
question.
confer and we get to consensus. Yes.
All right. Well, I hope we are correct. I hope we were the best answer of all the bunch.
Right. I hope so too. I want you to stay undefeated, you dynasty.
All right,
God, actually, I don't know.
And we don't like
Maybe.
simps either. No simping. No simp.
Yeah, why simp?
I'm anti-simp.
Type Xander, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah. I hope your
Subscribe, Betty.
I hope your Twitch account is doing great.
What's the next game?
All right, we're moving on up. So the next game is the vaulted Chiefs at Bucks. All right, Tampa Bay has not allowed a running back over 44 rushing yards since week 2. Pretty crazy. Since week 7, Hill's averaging 12 targets per game. Since Brown joined, Brown and Mike Evans are tied with 21% of the target share. However, last week Brown had 13 targets, which was the lion's share. And Tampa Bay has given him multiple touchdown passes in 5 straight games. Brother Dan.
My man. So the Chiefs
for us.
The Chiefs are 18-1 in their last 19 games. The Bucks are 7-4. They're coming off the last 2 games they've allowed 31 or more points. They just lost to the Rams. So here's an interesting stat. The Bucks blitz 42% of their plays. Unfortunately, Mahomes has a 98% quarterback rating when he is blitzed. He has 10 touchdowns and 0 interceptions.
Isn't that crazy?
So we may be able to see Mahomes just picking apart blitzes this whole game. Like I said, the Bucks have allowed a lot of points in the last couple games, and Tyreek Hill has had his best 3 games of the season, the last 3 games, and has had the most targets. I think we're going to see the Chiefs go 10-0. I think the Bucks are going to lose another one again. And here we go.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the only hesitation on the Chiefs side is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I think the rushing game is probably going to be hurt, but everyone else you're playing. Sammy Watkins is back for the Chiefs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I think you could probably play him with some confidence. Obviously, Hill, Kelsey. I mean, they're. I think they're going to have a really good game.
That stat Ryan threw up about only getting 44 yards rushing. Was it the last couple games? I think that's probably going to continue this game as well. I don't see there's going to be a whole lot of success running. I think it's going to be the Mahomes versus Brady kind of show, and I think Mahomes is going to win.
That is since week 2.
Wow.
2. Yeah. Pretty dominant for sure.
Yeah. I think it's going to. Yeah, that's going to continue again this week.
Tom Brady's probably going to be playing from behind. The thing that always stinks about the Tampa Bay offense is how he spreads it out so much. He doesn't just lock onto one guy. So it's kind of, Mike Evans, it becomes the touchdown dependent guy, and it's hard. It's hard to trust any of them. But I think that they're all probably going to get a base level of volume. And we already answered the question on Antonio Brown. He'll probably get he'll get a number of targets. They've been increasing every single week since he's joined.
All right, yeah, Bucks getting boat race today. I don't know. I don't know about that. I think it might be closer than we think. I have a sneaky suspicion it might actually be a lower scoring game also, but I wouldn't be surprised if neither team breaks 30 points.
What was the over under? 50 over 50, right?
Over. Oh yeah. Yep.
56. Yeah.
Yeah. But my prediction is neither team will break 30. All right. 6. What is Mal? Explain.
So he's I was Dan. He asked me where Gronkowski is ranked, and so I was just like telling him it's 6th.
Yeah.
Okay,
awesome.
go ahead and jump in with all these things. So
yeah. Diversity.
So out of tight ends, Gronk is ranked 6th this week.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I can see Brady going to Gronk and Brown, man. He's going to his old chums.
Gronk, he's Gronk and Brown. All right,
Gronk and Brown. Hey,
God.
I did that. Yeah, I've done that.
So, Bears at Packers. The over/under is 45 points, and which is surprising again. Welcome back, Mitch Trubisky. Who has 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions this year. Underwhelming at best. Chicago's given up 1+ touchdowns in 4 straight games. Green Bay has given up 15 touchdowns to running backs this year, and Aaron Jones gets 57%. Jamal Williams 49% of the share of the touches over the last over the last 2 games, and Chicago's held Kamara, Henry, and Cook scoreless over the last 3 games. Will that trend continue? Guys, Brother Dan, do you have any more augmented stats?
I do have a little bit. So the Bears are 5-5, but they've lost the last 4 games. And honestly, they should have lost their first game against the Lions. It was a drop pass and easy game-winning touchdown. And anyways, so they're 5-5, but they were 5-1 and have lost 4 straight. Packers are 7-3. Trubisky is back. Foles is out. Here's a couple of little stats. The Bears have only allowed 150 rushing yards all year once. Only one team has surpassed 150 rushing yards against them. However, on their side of the ball, they have the worst rushing game in the league. They only have 2 rushing touchdowns. I think that I think Aaron Rodgers may have a pretty good game today. I don't see they're going. The question is, will Aaron Jones have a good game or not, based on the Bears rushing defense? What's the weather like in Green Bay today as well? Does anyone know?
It is the coldest of pretty much any game in Green Bay today. 34, partly cloudy, 13-mile-an-hour northwestern winds. So there'll be a bit of wind chill going on there as well.
Yeah, it's going to feel in the upper teens or low 20s.
Yep, that is going to be a cold one.
Okay, thanks, Rob. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
so this is your team. What are your thoughts, Rob?
I think they're just going to trounce them. I think they're going to smash it. I've got to be honest. Like, Mahomes Trubisky coming back he's not going to. I mean, he's only ranked 26th looking at the rankings, and I don't think he's going to do much. He didn't do much before. So, and I think they're in that losing mentality. So the Packers are just going to come in and get me lots of points, hopefully.
Nice.
Bears be strong. I don't think you're changing any decision you would otherwise make on any given week for the Packers. Maybe you downgrade Williams as a flex, the number 2 running back. I mean, maybe that's the only person you probably bench if you were trying to decide between him and someone else. But I don't know. I don't think anyone on Green Bay is going to go off, but you're not sitting any of the guys that you would normally play. I think with Trubisky coming back, he does stink. but he does tend to lock on to Allen Robinson, you know, the wide receiver, number one wide receiver. So I think that bumps up Robinson just a little bit. Does that mean he's a top 10 play? Probably not, but it gives you maybe a little bit more comfort in playing Robinson versus someone else. We'll see, though.
Robinson actually did, I think, led or tied the league in touchdowns for the first 2 games or something. He was on fire with Trubisky in the beginning.
Well, I mean, at the very least, he was getting double-digit targets, and he hasn't had double-digit targets in like 5 weeks or something with Foles playing. So, as someone who has a stake in Robinson in a couple of my leagues, I'm hoping he has a good day.
Nice. What do you say? What say you, Mox?
I think the only person you wouldn't play is the running back for the Packers. I think Chicago's defense, especially their front four, is really good. But other than that, yeah, I think they get shredded through the air.
Do you think that the running back will get 100 yards?
No, I do not.
What about you, Darren?
Nope.
Nada.
Nope.
Yeah. Well, and I don't think he's going to have to. I mean, when you have Aaron Rodgers, you know, I think you're just fine not rushing the ball. Fine, you're good at rush. That's fine. We'll just use him as a blocker, and I'll just throw 320 yards.
Yeah.
I think Aaron Jones might score. I just don't think he'll breach 100 yards. All right, so we've just gone from the Bears Packers. Let's move on to the Seahawks at the Eagles. Now, we have Philly is not allowed a touchdown pass in 3 straight games. Wentz, he has 19 total touchdowns with 18 turnovers. Which is astounding. Seattle is not allowed a running back over 38 rushing yards in each of their past 4 games since week 8. Fulgham has 20%. Rigor has 9. That guy has like a Game of Thrones name right there. Ward has 16% of the target share since week 8, and both Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf are top 6 wide receivers in fantasy points per game. And Seattle has given up a touchdown to tight ends in 3 of the last 4 games. Brother Dan.
I think it's interesting that the Eagles have not given up a receiving touchdown in the last 3 games. That's a pretty impressive stat. I think that this may end today, though. I do think that Russell Wilson's going to have probably
all the money on it not ending today because they play tomorrow. Monday Night Football.
Good point.
So here is the interesting thing that I've learned from my sources. Hold on, this just in.
This is not a high school coach.
Yeah. Well, Jalen Hurts has been performing with the first team during practice this week. Jalen Hurts is the backup quarterback to Wentz. Wentz is only throwing 58% completion. You had mentioned his touchdown to 19 touchdowns, but 5 of them were rushing. He has 14 touchdowns and 14 interceptions. So he has 5 rushing touchdowns and 4 fumbles. The guy's a buttery finger. And Jalen Wentz was second in voting for the Heisman Trophy to Joe Burrow. Seahawks are 7-3 and the Eagles are 3-6-1. I think that those trends are going to continue. We're going to see 8-3 Seahawks. I think that's going to. I think that the offense right now for the Eagles is just in shambles.
Yeah.
Does our Philly expert Dean have any insights of is Hurts going to be the starter? Is Wentz even going to play?
No, Wentz is going to play. Wentz is going to continue to play. When they have put Jalen Hurts in, who hasn't done anything to show the coaching staff that they should bench Wentz over him or in favor of him. But Wentz really does need to figure it out. It's bad. It's disgusting. This is the worst season I've watched the Eagles play in a very, very, very long time.
Last week against the Browns, they were 2-12 on third down conversions.
Terrible, and that was what Carson Wentz was supposed to be fantastic at. His 2017 season, third downs and short were givens, automatic. They're going to get it. There's no question about it. This year, they can't seem to make a first down at all. It's
negative.
Well, we didn't get to talk about the Lions game because they played on Thanksgiving, but the week before, they didn't even get into the red zone. When they got beat 20-0, they didn't even get into their own red zone. You have to try to not score. If you get to the 40-yard line or the 35-yard line, you're going to kick an easy field goal for these kickers. It's hard to get shut out in this NFL. God damn it.
Derrick Henry scored a 12-yard rushing touchdown.
Who did?
Derrick Henry.
Oh, see.
Oh, that was fun.
Yeah, fun.
All right, we have one more game to get through, and then we'll actually all get to watch some football, which is what this is all about. Ravens at Steelers. The over-under is 45 points. Is this game even going to be played? Why are they playing this game? What's going on? Welcome back, RG3. I hope he has a great game just for the story of it all. Pittsburgh. Wouldn't that be great if RG3 was somehow in the running for comeback player of the year with Alex Smith? Oh, man, bring back the 90s. Pittsburgh, first in quarterback pressures, first in allowing quarterbacks to be pressured, which is weird. Pittsburgh allows the second fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks on the year since week 7. Johnson gets 25%, Juju Smith 22%, and Claypool gets 19% of the target shares. Des Bryant got 5 targets first game back for the Ravens, which is an amazing, fun story. Another comeback player of the year prospect. And Pittsburgh equals the fewest fantasy points to tight ends and have not given up a touchdown to them since week 2.
Well, and if that stat wasn't strong enough, Mark Andrews, the Baltimore tight end, has COVID, so he's not playing anyway.
Not playing anyways. Yeah, so what are we even making of this game? I've sat everyone. My recommendation is if you have anyone on these teams, like, are you playing anyone? There's a chance this game will not even be played, right? Is that still in the still open to them not even playing the darn game, right?
Yep.
It's not a safe play, yeah.
I think you really have to try to figure out, is there anyone else that you can play to ensure you get some points? Because the worst thing is you wait until Tuesday and they actually cancel and you get 0 points, right?
Yes.
It's hard. It's hard to sit guys, that you think are going to have a decent game, but I think unless you really have 0 other option, I think you're looking to replace that spot, whomever you were going to play.
I agree, and we probably should have brought this up earlier in the broadcast so people could make. Brother Dan, are you getting reports in from your people?
Yeah. So I'm on the phone right now with Terrell Owens.
Is he doing? Is he doing sit-ups in his driveway?
Yeah.
Is he in his driveway with his shirt off doing sit-ups and push-ups?
Yeah. He's crying about his quarterback.
And my quarterback.
My quarterback.
And my quarterback.
My teammate. To be honest, Ryan, I didn't even take notes for this game. That's how confident this game is not happening. I
would
don't
anybody
think
cry? Would anybody cry for the Todd Christensen? Did you think anyone would cry for him?
Don't cry for me, Todd Christensen.
Don't cry for me. Don't cry for Todd Christensen.
If someone was missing a poodle, perhaps,
just imagine, like, it's my poodle back.
My poodle back.
It's my poodle back.
I've just got an image of some flyers up now. Have you seen my poodle? I need my poodle back. My poodle back.
Matthew Netherland, I've almost cried on air talking about Alex Smith earlier. I agree. It is the craziest story in sports, maybe ever. The man almost died. More than losing his leg, he literally almost died, and he is playing. And his amazingly hot family just sits there, like, with their picture perfect, you know. And
Are you saying that his whole family's just hot?
They're just like well, they're on the sun. It looks like sweltering heat.
You're into the 11-year-old boy? What?
Okay, guys, thanks for joining us.